Do you have a very sniffy dog who loves to sniff everything but is kind of pulling you over? We're going to be talking about how to introduce the have a sniff cue as part of your reward system that you have with your dog so that you're not constantly being dragged around from sniff to sniff. My name is Kristen from Salty Pack. Thank you for joining for day 13 of our 30-day loose leash walking challenge. So when we kind of break down the different cues that we've been giving to our dog, we now have set up 3 of the 4 that we generally use. We already have, yes, that was our first motivational kind of technique that we've used to get our dog working with us and getting them super valued of being in this left-hand side as our loose leash walk. The next one that we introduced was let's go, move with me on my left-hand side. We've also just recently introduced those little taps on the collar and the nope, or whatever you would like to use for that. So that's our third one. Today, we're gonna be introducing our have a sniff cue. We use have a sniff in a lot of different varieties. We can use it as a reward for like an environmental reward. It gives us a break. Like doing all this new things is difficult for your brain as well as your dog's brain. So both of you guys get a little bit of a break with this. So there's a lot of different varieties of being able to have a sniff in different places, but the biggest thing here is it's part of a reward for your dog. So remember on that very first day when sometimes pulling can be rewarding, it depends on what they've been pulling too. So today we're gonna be showing our dog like, hey, the environment is on access to you, but only at certain times. So how that's going to look is as we've been using our thumb grip, this is where it's nice and easy for us. So again, those kind of death grips that we've been used to in the past don't really give us the flexibility to then be able to give the whole length of the leash really easily and still being able to have control of our dog. So we're gonna be having our thumb grip. So again, just a quick reminder, if this is your first day here for whatever reason, with your right hand, just for the moment, we've got the backwards L. We then give our dog this much distance from us. So we've got a secondary loop that looks just like the end of our leash. Loop that up together, and then we're grabbing everything. That creates a really nice solid foundation for us. Now I've got my very short dog. It might be maybe like a little staffy. We'll call it a staffy. So as I'm going for a walk with my staffy, it's showing me nice loose leash manners, and it goes, that bush over there is kind of sniffy. Probably what's gonna happen on your first few walks is your dog, just from learning from the past, is probably gonna pull off to that bush. So you now, with a savvy leash handling, are gonna go, oh, okay, I see that, and I'm gonna block you. You'll probably then change direction, come back around, knowing that that bush is something that they would like to investigate. Once they give you those nice loose leash manners, say that 10 times, you're then gonna introduce our have a sniff cue. Some people use free, some people use sniff, whatever works for you guys. I say have a sniff because it kind of rolls off my tongue. So when I say have a sniff, I give my dog, oh, it's fallen down. I give my dog the entire length of the leash so that they can explore. So when we think of let's go being that it's your responsibility as the dog to keep yourself in that nice little like safety bubble radius for us. Anywhere outside of that is where that tapping starts. Anywhere inside the circle, you have opportunity for access to rewards. So it's their responsibility that we are giving some reminders for. In have a sniff, I actually give the full length of the leash, and I am totally cool with the dog kind of taking a little bit of space and distance to explore. It's their reward. So that's the difference. Now, when we are ready to go back into let's go mode, we can easily just bring our hand down the leash, loop it all up, and then we're back into let's go, and then we move off. Remember that when you give your let's go command, say what you mean what you say. If your dog's like, nah, I'm still gonna be sniffing here, give them a couple of tap, tap, taps, bring them off with you. You can give them a little yes reward. So being able to be flexible with every once in a while allowing your dog to have a sniff is going to give both of you guys a little bit of a chance to like just breathe for those first few times that you go out. And again, let's give the benefit of the doubt to our dogs as well too. They might need a toilet, they might want to sniff. What we oftentimes find is dogs are much sniffier at the start of the walk, and then they kind of fade off how much they would like to sniff towards the end. So be really on top of this as you start your walks, And then as you get a little bit more into it, usually the dogs don't need to sniff as much. So in a moment that you will see a little bit of a demonstration with Chili, the chocolate lab. She loves sniffing. In fact, we hardly ever use like food rewards for her anymore. Almost all of her rewards come from the environment. So her have a sniff is very, very locked and loaded. So when you are working on this, this is something that is probably going to be done through shaping. Your dogs are not implicitly going to understand have a sniff. In fact, sometimes you pull them off to the side and you're like, don't you want to sniff this thing? And they kind of look at you going like, what do you mean? So this is something that you will probably start to develop over time once you understand what your dog wants to sniff. And once you kind of feel like, oh yeah, this is like their favorite tree to sniff, for example, or the favorite bush to pee on, you can introduce that right when you know that they are about to have a sniff, give them the full length of the leash, let them have their little bit of sniffing time, and then we come back into it. So again, this one takes time, but still you can practice this one today out and about if you would like to, or if you're feeling a little bit more comfortable, you can definitely, of course, always do this in the backyard if you're defaulting back to that. The biggest thing probably for you to work on before you actually head out is you can just, kind of like what I did here with the chair, is just make a fake dog. So practice that leash handling going in and out from let's go for it being short into giving the full length of the leash for have a sniff. That's definitely something that you can film for yourself if you wanted a little bit more of a breakdown for like maybe it's not going as well. So film yourself doing that and then see if you can introduce that to your dog throughout the walk for today. So as always, grab your treat pouch or fill your pockets with some of the food for your dog's breakfast or dinner. Make sure that they're hungry and they haven't eaten yet. Make sure that they're keen and ready to go, and have some fun with your dog. All right, so we have Chili. You're probably nearly 3 years old now, Chili. You're getting old. 3-year-old lab. She has been working with us for a little bit and she definitely enjoys her sniffs. So we use a lot of sniffing with Chili as part of the reinforcement for her of like, hey, I like your loose leash walking. You can go explore the environment. So Chili is going to be demonstrating for us how we can go from that short leash when we are in a loose leash walk into have a sniff. So I'll be letting her have the length of the leash to go and sniff. I'm not going to be letting her like continuing moving along, but just being able to sniff in the one spot. Good girl, there's a little bit of distraction. Chili, let's go. Good girl. Good. Let's go. Nice job, Chili. Good. Have a sniff. And I can drop the leash and she can have the bit of space there. Good. So just before I'm ready to move, I can make that secondary loop. Chili, let's go. And then go back into that little bit of a thumb grip. Good. Let's go. Nice work, girly. Let's go. I know, we're just sticking around in this area though, sweetie. Have a sniff. So not too much movement, we're kind of staying in the same area. When I'm almost ready, make that secondary loop. Chili, let's go. And we can go back into our loose leash walk. We'll do that once more. Throw my long line down. So I can keep it in my left hand in case she gets a little bit too far out. I can give her those little bits of feedback if she needs them. Good. Let's go. This way. We'll do one last one. Have a sniff. And so what we're rewarding here is the fact that she is giving me a nice loose leash walk. Go explore the environment. I don't want you to be next to me the whole time. Chili, let's go. Nice job, sweetie. Let's go. Good. So that was nice. Good job, girl. Thanks for watching today's video. My name is Kristen from Salty Pack. If you're looking for any individualized help with your dog, either in person or virtually, you can find us at saltypack.com.au, or you can find us on Facebook or Instagram at saltypackdogs. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.